So initially, I thought that Wack 100 was the one that was saying stuff about Slay, K Slay, R.I.P. S.I.P. the homie. So I did a little bit of research and we found out that it's Snow Billy that's talking stuff about Slay, talking about how he was on drugs and stuff like that. I watched Doggy Diamonds yesterday, and Doggy was like, at some point, everybody in New York was on something, whether you were on beer, cigarettes, weed. Best part is that he got himself off of that and was able to come even stronger. Can't talk about the successes, right? When it comes down to areas like when he created his own publication, was able to put a lot of women, beautiful black sisters, Hispanic sisters, and white women, people from all over the world in those magazines. Those magazines basically went all over the world. Snow Billy's ex-criminal, thief, allegedly, drug dealer, gang member, negative effect on society. K Slay was the taxpayer. DJs have to pay taxes. He worked at Power 105 as well as at Shady, at Street Sweeper Radio. Many artists came up there, did freestyles, and every day it was a possibility to do some stuff with Slay. I've done business up there myself, and he gave me the floor to present him opportunities at one point. I must say that he wasn't an easy person to do business with, but is this an easy industry to do business with? So what about if he learned from this industry, and that's why he moved the way that he did? Wack 100 coming out saying stuff about Nipsey Hussle, coming out saying stuff about sexual escapades and things of that nature. Also about, you know, how he's got these tapes with De La Hoya and all of this stuff, and how all of this extortion is going on, how Hassan leaked it. All it does is just show how the industry and how Hollywood utilizes manipulation to put people in positions and to do things. The story's so deep, and it's got a lot of different layers of under the onion, because he was just ranting and he didn't really pay attention to the possibilities that he could have been getting recorded. If Hassan is smart, he'll look into the laws of New York State, because you only need one party's consent when you're recording in New York City. So if you did that recording in New York, you don't have to worry about a lawyer. Get your own, and then basically enact the law that's available to you in New York City. Might even be able to use a reporter's press pass or something like that in order to get that content to be okay to come out. You do not need consent in New York. It's only one person consent. So if you're the one that's recording and you're the one that's consenting, other person don't need to know that you're recording. Other states needs two parties, not New York. Look into the laws of your state, and you guys will really understand stuff like this and be able to really protect yourself. Both sides, protect yourself from people recording you by being careful with how you speak. And then if you're recording, got you. There's no such thing as snitches anymore, so even the content that he put out, they can't call him a snitch on the streets, because snitches, that's acceptable nowadays. And especially with this just being audio that's being leaked, whatever they want to call the snitching part is being outweighed with what's being said, i.e. Nipsey allegations, i.e. the allegations about De La Hoya, i.e. the allegations about Nori. And if you really look into it, you can tell that this guy Wack 100 is basically allegedly trying to manipulate situations to put himself and to make himself viral on the internet, as well as the fact that he doesn't like New York City and people that live here. He just comes and does his business and does what he wants. Snake in the industry is what people are calling him. I don't have any particular moniker or any tagline that I put on people, because a lot of people, they do the same or worse, but you just can't see it. I've been in business for a long time in the state of New York and around the world. Think he's hard. Try to do some business with other people that are even worse or as difficult, as stern to deal with. You'll see what business is like. Go check out that video where 50 Cent says businessmen are harder to do business with than people on the street, or more ruthless. Businessmen are more ruthless than drug dealers and gangsters, because they'll take your whole company and have no remorse about it. So yeah, but that's one part I wanted to go into. Then we got the situation with Megan Thee Stallion. Wanted to know what y'all thought about her story. Do you think that her story is holding up? She had an interview with Gayle King the other day. She started crying and it got pretty emotional. A lot of people said that she was possibly lying. Might want to check out my blog on this one, the Medusa blog, over at www.medusausa.net. What we do is we write up on the content, as well as put up videos to kind of give you insight into exactly what's being said and what's being done. So we do blogging as well as video editions. We pay respects to publishers and providers that give us the information. Wherever we obtain the information from, we appreciate it. So yeah, the Medusa blog is available on the website, www.medusausa.net. We're updated to about everything that's going on now with from Tekashi with the ambush of the Little Dirt lookalike, and we got that. That's one of the new posts that we put up. And like we stated, the Megan Thee Stallion story, you know, what people think, what's reciprocated. I'd like for you guys to go in there and leave some comments and let us know what you think about these stories and what's being said. We got the Kim Kardashian story. What's going on with that? Seems as if she's got one of the biggest settlements in divorce history. $60 billion, $60 billion, something like that. I don't know how that happened. $60 million. Gotta look into the story to see exactly what she got. But, you know, did Kanye predict his future when he did Gold Digger? You know? I don't know. Check out the Medusa blog. Leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Got this situation going on up in Sherman Avenue on tenants, where the tenants are in fear, or they should be. A lot of drugs going on in the neighborhood and crime in the streets, sanitation, garbage. You know, after a certain amount of time in certain places in New York, you need to be in the house because it's not that safe. Probably want to go check out Street Smarts, How to Survive in the Hood. That's a good guide as to how to move around in the city and play it safe. What goes? We got can of butter. You like smoking? Marijuana? Well, how about making the cannabis butter? That's how they infuse all the foods. Didn't know that, huh? There's a recipe for it on the website, medusausa.net, and you guys can definitely go check that out. Feel free to use the recipe. Yeah, so that's the cannabis recipe right there. And we've got more on the Wack 100 and Hassan Tekashi academic situation. The marijuana exposed. This is basically everything from, you know, how it happened, how it started, the sit down, the actual conversation and everything. A couple of weeks earlier, we got Tekashi talking about Fabio. Of course, we got rest in peace to K. Slay, DJ K. Slay, true DJ pioneer. So yeah, the blog is definitely up and it's well-rounded. Not talking about just news, and talk about cool things like this wandering toddler that was protected by a pit bull. They said that the kid went outside. Next thing you know, this dog just came across the street and started protecting it and walking next to this kid. Hopefully they adopted it. Me, myself, talking about, you know, PPP loan frauds, arrests. Actually got pretty good coverage on that, so people were pretty interested in it, so we put it up on the blog. 2022 spring colorways, all of the new Jordans and everything that's coming out that you'll be looking out for. Anything that you probably want to match up and, you know, have an outfit, what actually, you know, colorways and things that are coming out now. This is going to give you an idea of what you should be looking out for. And, you know, other things that you can actually do as far as like buying suits and pants and t-shirts and certain things that match up along with the new products and the new colorways that's coming out. So we try to keep you in the loop of all of the new colorways that's coming out for spring. We got soft lilacs. So these are all of the new colors that you're going to be seeing coming out for spring. So if you want to be ahead of what's going on, you might want to go ahead and go to the website, check out all the spring 2022 colors and the new things that everybody's going to be wearing so that you can be ahead of the pack and not following. I did want to talk about crime in the city because it's really up. Ever since the subway shooter, Frank James, was apprehended, you know, crime has been like at an all-time high in New York City. We've had shootings in the train station, up by Fordham Road, where somebody was on the train and right before the doors open, it seems like this is when they want to strike now. Right before the doors open for people to get off the train, this person gets off and brandishes a gun, and they say he let off like 3 rounds and got away, and they can't find him. So that's becoming like rampant in the city. Earlier in the week, someone was shot at the Parsons station out in Jamaica, Queens. So the city right now is really, it's really turned up. You know, people not, you know, comfortable with going down in the subway because of how there's so many incidents going on down there, and it's really important that you guys take care and be and cover yourself and protect yourself out there, because tomorrow is really not promised. You know, we've got like stuff like carjackings going on. We had a carjacking happen. I think this was yeah, 1 day ago. We had a carjacking going on where I'm just gonna play the audio. I won't show the video.
Caught on camera, it happened in the Bronx back on March 30th. You can see a Kia van and a Lexus SUV collide on an exterior street.
Matter of fact, I think I can actually show this, and I'm just gonna put the disclaimer and say it now. This is for a comment and for comment and for feedback only. This is not for any promotion or anything, but I do want you guys to get an idea of how crazy it is in the city and what's going on. So check this out really quick.
This morning, police make an arrest in a crazy carjacking caught on camera. It happened in the Bronx back on March 30th. You can see a Kia van and a Lexus SUV collide on an exterior street. People then climbed out of the SUV, jumped on the van, and attacked its 53-year-old driver. That van runs away, and people from the SUV could be seen driving off in his van. The driver of the Lexus stayed on the scene and was arrested by police on robbery charges. The victim was treated for a fractured eye socket at the hospital.
So yeah, that's what New York City is turning into. Also, we're starting to see a lot of stuff like abandoned cars. You know, we haven't seen that since I was a child, and that was like Years ago, trust me. I might look older, but I might look young, but I'm not. I apologize for doing this, but I just want to get a clear vision and make the screen better. So I apologize for that. But right now, crime is at an all-time high with us in New York City. The police really can't do anything about it because it's coming from everywhere. There was just a shooting in Queens where like 4 people got shot, and this is in like an area where there's hardly no crime going on at all. Then there was like a teen shot at a Queens high school. So we got a lot of shootings going on now. Check this out. This is another one. Like, so this is not something that's just like one of in the city. And like, this is what I want the tourists to know. Like, New York, the name is much bigger than what's really going on. It's just like LA. There's so much crime when you walk and turn a corner. But from the advertising, you would never know because they don't advertise the crime. They only advertise the good. So this is what we really need to be paying attention to and stop being ignorant to what's going on around us. And we'll live if we're smart.
Reported after a shooting in Queens left 3 teenagers injured, including a 14-year-old girl who was shot in the neck.
The teens were shot in a quiet neighborhood that's one of the safest in the city. They were just out walking after school. CBS's John Diaz live in Fresh Meadows, Queens, with more for us this morning. John?
Chris and Mary, police telling us that a group of 10 people were shot at here yesterday afternoon. Most of them were just teenagers. Now, this all came about after 2 cars pulled up, an argument began, a verbal dispute, and then came the bullets. It's something no one wants to see in their community. At least 9 shell casings scattered on the ground along 188th Street. Those bullets coming with a horrifying soundtrack.
Here, boom, 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 boom. What sounded like 6 shots in succession.
Police say yesterday afternoon, a group of students, many from nearby Francis Lewis High School, were walking after school in the Fresh Meadows, Queens neighborhood when the sudden gunshots rang out. This after 2 cars pulled up by the group of youngsters and angry words were exchanged.
Right now, the nature of the dispute and in terms of the people, the relationship of the people involved in that dispute are also part of the investigation.
Police tell us they know a male got out of one of the cars and opened fire with a 9mm handgun. 2 18-year-old males were hit, one in the leg, the other in the stomach. A 14-year-old female several yards away was struck in the neck by a bullet and seriously injured. Police do not believe she was a target.
That's horrifying. I have no words for that. Like 14.
Police spent most of the day searching the scene a block away, where victims fled before calling 911. It seems no neighborhood is immune to the ongoing gun violence in New York City. The 107th precinct is one of the safest. Many living here are in disbelief.
I'm devastated, shocked, on high alert now. I never thought something like this would happen. Friendly neighbors, friendly people walking by. We say hi to everybody. It's sad.
Now, there is some relief here this morning, which is none of the injuries are considered to be life-threatening. However, again, though, the suspects, they are still on the run.
You see what I'm saying? Like, most of the time when stuff like this happens, people always get away. Everybody's wearing masks, so you don't know who it is. There might be an opportunity for it to, for you to find them later, but that doesn't help. And the situation has already happened. So we don't have too much preventative measures going on in New York City. We don't even have police patrol. Yeah, we don't have police patrol. And people would look at me and say, yo, you a rapper, you black, you a man, why do you worry about that? Like, you shouldn't care, you know what I'm saying? You should be down before the streets. You should be for the streets, and if somebody kills somebody, be quiet, don't tell nobody. If your homeboy does something stupid, put on a t-shirt that says free him. Don't be educated, be ignorant, and love what the streets has going on versus living your life and being a good person. I wasn't raised in the streets. I was raised in a house by my mother and my family. So I don't live with street, like by the street like that. No, I live by family code and respect and pride and good and wholesome things. And I'm not impressed or going to try to impress anybody in the streets because they're not the people I need to be impressing anyway. If they're ignorant, you actually need to get away from them. You can't impress ignorant people. The only way you can impress ignorant people is through ignorance and doing ignorant things that can get you in trouble. So yeah, we just got a lot going on. Ever since the two police officers were fatally shot, then it's just bad. Robberies are up. Even sexual crimes are up. The sad part about it is a lot of things aren't being reported. A lot of, like, let's say assaults and jump-ins and stuff like that. People getting robbed. They don't report it. Like a lot of Hispanic people, when they get robbed and jumped, they don't report it. So there's a lot of crime going on in those sort of areas. And like if you don't have your green card and somebody jumps you or beats you up, you don't want to go and tell the police that, because then you're going to think that you're going to get in trouble for immigration or something like that. That's what happens up in certain areas. New York police on the man. Yeah, so I'm just trying to go through different issues and different parts of altercations and different things that's going on in the city, because it's not being advertised and people are not saying anything about it, and the criminals have taken over. I want you guys to know that. They've taken over. The police have basically been outshined by criminals, and a lot of them don't even want to. They don't even want to deal with criminals anymore. They don't want to be the first cop on the scene. They don't want to be the one doing the arrest, because they feel like they're going to be charged or probably, probably get charges brought against them for saying that they did something to somebody when they really didn't, or they probably did. I don't know. The truth about it is, it's just really bad. A lot of crime is up. A lot of things are happening. And it's no certain particular place in the city that's exempt from these sorts of things that's happening. There's no exemption at all. So whereas we used to have like these calm areas in Queens or in downtown Manhattan on Fifth Avenue and Madison, and you thinking all of those places are safe, it's not the truth anymore. Every place is almost equal. We have people that are in office that kind of portray that they know what they're doing, but they don't. We have people that are in high places in the police field that should not be there. I honestly feel like even the governor that we have shouldn't be our governor, because had it not been for Cuomo resigning, she wouldn't be in the position that she's in now. So if she wasn't in that position before, she should not be in the position now. She's making up for what he did. Okay, good. Let's get somebody in there that really knows what they're doing. She probably backed them up and worked with them for a long period of time, but that does not mean that she herself holds the credentials. That just means that she was put in a position because he resigned. We need another governor, and we need another mayor. And we need a strict person, kind of like how Giuliani was. Because the people that we have in play now, they're puppets. And it's gonna take for a lot of negative things to happen in order for there to be change. And we, the citizens, should not be the ones that are suffering and having to be the sacrifice for them to get their stuff right. You got budgets, you have money, you have the force, you have the right people. I don't understand what is going on. Why aren't you doing your job? I've seen much more than police just hanging out on the train station using their phones. And I do believe that they need to use those phones to do check-ins and things like that. But I've seen them, during the pandemic not wearing their masks. I've seen them, get on a train and see somebody sleeping and don't do nothing. They say that they're doing so much and they put so many police on the trains and stuff like that. But just being there is one thing. Actually enforcing and getting involved in what people are doing, that's another. And it seems like they're intimidated and a little scared. Just don't want to be the ones to get in trouble for it. So that's another part that we have to deal with in the state of New York. We still have this stupid mandate where we have to be vaccinated in order to go back to work. So many people still aren't working because the mayor won't allow unvaccinated people to work. Even though we are, 13% hospital rate, 3.2%, nobody's really dying when they get COVID, but he really just wants to be stern on the hardworking New York City workers and people that are trying to pay their bills and survive. Some of the actors, they said that they were going to let actors and entertainers go back to work. It's not true. Hollywood is utilizing the mandate as of March 2021 to force non-vaccinated actors and background people to get vaccinated in order to go back to work. And it's just not right. And this is probably going to go on all the way till July. The reason I'm saying this is because I know it's going to get worse by the summertime. We are in April, May, after June, July, we done. After this month, we're actually done. You're going to see, if we're already at a 50% crime spike in New York City, and it's only April, we in trouble by the end of May. And by June, there's going to be more shootings. By July, more shootings. So be careful out there. Be really careful. Pick your visiting places. It's sad to say, but if you don't really need to be going there, don't go. Might be safe to go like by the park or by the beach or places like that. But try to stay around groups, but not groups which are doing things like rap groups or groups that are doing stuff that have large crowds like that, because it's just not the time. We have to be on high alert now. We have to overdo it when we come down to our protection and looking out for ourselves, because we have no protection. The police don't patrol. They're after the fact. ATF should not stand for alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. It should stand for police after the fact. They come run around like Keystone Cops trying to figure out what's going on, write up some stuff, tape some stuff off, then they're gone. Back to motion. And you're just another statistic that's been caught up in whatever went on. So I implore you guys to pay attention, and all of this living for the weekend and it's Friday, I gotta go out. No, you don't. You can stay home and clean your crib, do your laundry, get your life in order, tighten up your business or create something, and make yourself more valuable to yourself so you can get out of these situations. The longer you hang out and play around on the weekend, the longer you taking to get out of the situation and the lifestyle that you're living in, because you're spending money and wasting it on things that you probably shouldn't. Save your money so that when you need to get out of here, you can. Because New York, I'm out. I've left a couple of times, but this is the first time that I feel like I'm being forced out due to what's going on around me. And if you make a certain amount of money, it's not like they're gonna let you carry. You can't carry a pistol legally, but you have maybe 30% of the population now walking around with guns, and 20% of them are criminals. And they carry them on a train, wherever they want. A lot of people have knives and stabbing and shooting and killing and all of that stuff. So y'all got to be careful. We have to be careful. We do. So yeah, I wanted to start off with some hip hop news, a little bit of, you know, gossip column stuff when it came down to Megan stuff with Tory Lanez and what's going on with that right now. Tekashi 6ix9ine and all, but you know, in order to be entertained, you have to be alive. And in order to stay alive, you got to be smart and you got to take care of your business. The website that we have is called www.medusa. That's MEDUSA.net. www.MEDUSA.net. The blog is there. The blog is called What Goes. So whether it's clothes, whether it's information that has to do with hot topics or trending stories or anything that has to do with good, wholesome information that we think that we need to share with you guys. Like I said, even the recipe for cannabis butter. I never knew how to make infused brownies or make cakes that had cannabis in them. I didn't know that they make the butter, and then when they make the cake, they put the butter in. Now the cake is infused and you're good. It just depends on how much infusion that you do, that you put into the cake to determine how potent it's gonna be. And that was just something great that we just wanted to share with you guys. We are looking for contributors. So go to info@medusausa.net. If you write something and we like it, we're going to put it up on the blog and give you credit for it. Yes, we are going to put it up on the blog and give you credit for it. And then if you're with us for a while, you know, you'll grow with us so that to the point where, you know, when the blog starts making monetary off of advertisement, you know, you're going to get a chunk of that because a lot of that is your product. And we appreciate you. In order to grow, we have to work with each other. So I would love for anybody, you know, you want to write a story while you're on lunch break, do that. If you looking at something and you think that it's something that people really want to see or talk about, take your phone out, go to text, press the text to message button and start talking like it's a sentence. Get a couple of paragraphs down, edit it out to make sure that you like what's being said, that you comfortable and you feel like you got everything that you wanted to get out about that topic, and email it to info@medusausa.net with your name, your information. We're gonna add images to it and put it up. If there's any relative videos on YouTube, we'll link that too and put it in the write-up as well. So yeah, this is gonna be fun for all, and this is just an opening and just a reach out to you guys and following up with you about hot topics, information that's going on, updates, news, what to look for. Also, stay healthy, please. Drink your water like you see me. When you put a lemon in your water, it's automatically alkaline. I didn't know that. It's like, how do I find alkaline water? Somebody told me to cut a lemon and put it in water, and now you got alkaline water. See? Didn't know that. I might just write that up, how to do it. It's really easy. And just put that up, because when we share information, it makes us all better. So I'd like to plug the website once again, www.medusausa.net. That's www.medusausa.net for the blog, clothing, NFTs, and much more. Appreciate you guys for coming. Like I always tell you, could have went anywhere. But the fact that you came here to chill with your boy, I appreciate you. Until the next time, it's your boy Bugatti NYC. I'm checking out what goes. And I'll see y'all soon. Get him! Yeah.